What is going on, Niner fans? It is Victory Monday all day long. The 49ers are 5-0, undefeated, first place. There's only one other team that got to wake up today, 5-0, and that's the Philadelphia Eagles. But oh my God, what a day. It feels great. I hope everybody's having a phenomenal day. We've won. We've got to witness this 49ers team as fans win every single week so far, and it feels so good. What's up, Jimmy Perez? What's up, Miguel? What's up, Christine? What's up, Debbie? How's everybody in the chat doing today? It is a glorious day. I mean, all the news has been great. I mean, you see the Niner fans, just everybody's excited. The timeline's great on Twitter. Cowboys fans are depressed. There's nowhere to be found. And then you got these dumb takes, and it's funny. We got receipts. It's just a glorious day when the Cowboys pack hits. Stephen A. Smith was on point this morning. Richard Sherman took so many shots at Skip Bayless. He made him, he cooked him up. That was fun. And then Micah Parsons just sounds like a blubbering fool after, the game. He said, oh, we're on the same level, this and that. The guy didn't even know what he was saying. He was flabbergasted. He sounded confused. He was just bumbling and saying stuff to say stuff. He didn't believe a word he was saying. But the 49ers are 5-0. They're heading into a Week 6 battle with the Cleveland Browns, who are a little banged up. And the 49ers are in great health. And this is one thing I talked about earlier today is the 49ers are just in impeccable health right now. And this is a big difference from years past where you seem like every week you're looking at the injury report and you're a little stressed out. But right now, things are great. They're winning. The locker room is special. You see the locker room video that they showed, and Kyle Shanahan, they're smiling, Debo's smiling, everybody's just happy, and you can see the focus is right now. It's just 1 week at a time. They're not trying to overthink things, and the 49ers are in a beautiful position. The locker room looks happy. They're winning games. Obviously, that makes things happy, but everything's just going in the right direction, man. It feels amazing, absolutely amazing, man. This was a massacre last night, and the vibe was electric out in Levi Stadium last night, and man, I don't know. It was one of the best victories I've been part of in a long time. It was just fun to see the 49ers just obliterate them. It was a statement game because a lot of teams are saying, well, the 49ers haven't played anybody. The Cowboys are going to come in there and they got revenge on their mind and it's going to be a close game. The 49ers, they might lose because this is a real challenge for them and this and that and the other. And the 49ers just walked them 42-10. Big time beatdown. And Brock Purdy, we'll talk about Brock today. He just continues to look better and better. There are just so many great players on this team. It's a well-balanced team. Stars at so many levels of this team. Great role players. It is a phenomenal time to be a 49ers fan, man. But yeah, 49ers are relatively healthy. I want to talk about those updates real quick. Today, Kyle Shanahan did talk about some injuries. He updated us on Aaron Banks, left guard. He has a shoulder sprain. He's day-to-day. He avoided a major injury. It could have been worse. They thought it was a biceps injury. It could have been potentially a season ender, but it looks like he's okay. We'll see how he goes in practice this week. But you got to realize Aaron Banks right now, he avoided a major injury. So that's good. If he can't play, John Feliciano will step in, which he did last night, and he played very good for Aaron Banks last night. Feliciano had 11 pass rush attempts on him, and he had no pressures. He played really good. He came in. He was dealing with the concussion last week, but he stepped right in and took advantage of his opportunity. So good to see that. I think the O-line played very well. Brock Purdy, I feel like, really wasn't under rush. Micah Parsons had, 26 pass rush attempts, 0 quarterback hits, I think 2 quarterback rushes or something. It was pretty crazy what his stats were. I want to pull up his stats. Micah Parsons just got owned last night. He was owned last night. Like, he had no impact on this game. And that's why this offensive line needs a lot of respect. I think not a lot of people are talking about just how good this offensive line is because, of course, we talked about, Fred Warner and all these other players that stood out. And, of course, we should. But let's give some respect and flowers to this offensive line. Look at what Micah Parsons did against the 49ers. He had 0 sacks, 0 hits. He had 2 quarterback hurries on 26 pass rush attempts. That's crazy, man. 49ers dominated this guy. They blocked him well. Shout out to Kyle Juszczyk and George Kittle and everybody else on this offensive line. You had great play from Colton McKivitz, Jake Brendel, the whole line through and through. Trent Williams, obviously, we know he's good, but they all came together, and I feel like they blocked well on the pass protection game. They actually played well in the run game, too. It was a very good offensive game plan. And Kyle Shanahan, let's talk about him. He was in his bag last night. The trick play to George Kittle. This is one thing that I want to talk about is the fact that George Kittle, and the 49ers just went crazy with 42 points, right? But the thing is, you got to give Kyle Shanahan his credit because in the morning, the Lions ran that play, right? A couple hours before the game. Now, the thing is that 49ers had that in their playbook, right? They said they had it in the playbook, but it's not like they practiced it all week. It wasn't in their installments. The fact that they just, told Kyle in the morning, hey, we want to run this play and run it better, right? That's what they had said. They wanted to run this play because they saw the Lions do it. Like, ooh, we should do that too. And Kyle's like, all right, cool. We'll figure it. We'll play it. To just call the play and do it just shows you how much he trusts Brock Purdy, man. He trusts this team. He trusts Kyle. He trusts Brock Purdy to just say, hey, look, play 20. I don't know play 65 in the playbook, whatever they want to call it, right? We're gonna run this play. To just sit there and tell Brock, like, yo, run play 65. All right, cool, bet. And execute it the way they did was phenomenal. Like, this offense is a well-oiled machine. And we haven't seen anything like that with Kyle Shanahan because we haven't had a quarterback that could execute it. And now Kyle trusts his quarterback, and he could run the gauntlet of all his plays. I feel like it was a baby version of what his offense could be for so many years. He didn't have a quarterback that could execute at the level he needed it to. Now, Brock's learning. Every week he's learning more wrinkles. He's getting more confident. He's throwing deep. He trusts his receivers. He trusts everybody. He knows CMC is his safety outlet, right? He knows Kittle's going to be there when he needs him. And he's just going to continue to try different things. Kyle's going to try things with Brock. Brock's going to try things. He's going to continue to learn how to read a defense. It just levels to it. And these guys are coach duo has been phenomenal so far. And you love it, man. To run a trick play like that, and it wasn't even in your install of the week. It just was like crazy. The story of, if you guys watch the pressers, they said it. They said, we just told Kyle in the morning, yo, the Lions ran this play. We have it in our playbook. Can we just run it? It's crazy, man. Kyle owns the Cowboys coaches. Like, he ran circles over them. And Steve Wilks, too. I think Steve Wilks is not getting enough respect. Every week we've been sitting here, a lot of people are saying, Steve Wilks, I'm not sold on him, this and that. The offense is, ahead of the defense, which they are. And last night, the defense came out, made a statement, man. They made a statement. The players last night, Fred Warner and Diamond Lenore, this was really something that I was looking at all the, tweets and everything and all the post-game stuff. And today, getting ready for my show, this one really stuck out to me because Fred Warner said it, but Diamond Lenore said it too. This was like bulletin board material for them. Let me pull this up. Let me find it. Sorry. Diamond Lenore basically said, I want to get the full quote. Let's see it. Give me 1 sec. Okay, so Diamond Lenore says that the 49ers defense took the number 1 ranking of Dallas's defense entering this game personally. He took it personally. He said the San Francisco defense set out to adjust those rankings. They wanted to adjust the rankings. They were tired of not being called the number 1 defense. And last night, they dog-walked the Cowboys. They owned Dak Prescott. He only had 1 interception coming into this game, 3 interceptions. They were all over him, and they looked like the number 1 defense last night. And it's because they were sick and tired of not getting the respect. Because every week, everybody's saying, the offense is carrying, the defense isn't the same, Steve Wilks is not the same, he's not a good defensive coordinator. And they rose to the occasion, and you saw this defense just go and make plays, man. They were firing on all cylinders. And as you guys are saying in the chat, that now they have Randy Gregory. He's going to make them even better. Once he comes up to speed and gets his, he figures out the scheme and everything, they're going to be even better. Shout out to Steve Wilks, man. Every single week, he's made good adjustments, okay? But he's even getting better at the early parts of the game, and that was evident last night. Like, they were coming right at Dak Prescott's head. They scored a touchdown. It's fine. It happens. You're not going to be perfect, but for the most part, the defense was not letting up. They weren't letting up big plays. They weren't letting up third downs. Receivers were held in check. Diamond Lenore, put some respect on his name. He held CeeDee Lamb and everybody else in check. They were trying to throw it to Mooney Ward. They couldn't get anything on him. They gave up 1 really bad play. It was a good, I'll say it was a good play. Oliver got beat off the line. touchdown, whatever. Other than that, they really did nothing on defense. Pollard was getting stuffed. Pollard got outrushed by our backup running back, Jordan Mason. Shout out to Jordan Mason. This defense was firing all cylinders. Javon Hargrave cooking. Bosa, you finally saw Bosa's engine revved, and you could see they were struggling to, block him. Bosa had 7 pressures. Fred Warner, Dre Greenlaw, the duo that we all know is the best in the league. They were on fire. Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw were playing like their hair was literally on fire. It was crazy. Dre, sideline to sideline, hitting people in the mouth. Crazy. Fred Warner, we saw the game he had. He's a defensive player of the year type caliber season so far. And last night was a defensive player of the year type game. I mean, a sack, a forced fumble, an interception. He was everywhere. Relentless, 8 tackles. This defense was just everywhere, man. And they put a statement. And for Micah Parsons today, or yesterday after the game, when he said that this team is the same level as the 49ers, and he doesn't see a discrepancy in team, I was like, what did you say? Are you delusional? Like, what is Micah Parsons even on? To sit there and let me pull up the full quote, because this is crazy. That to me, when I saw this, I was like, does he know ball or what? He doesn't know ball. Micah Parsons says, I don't think the 49ers are at a higher level than us. I think we're the same caliber playoff team, same talent, same standards. I just feel like we need to reconsider and fix some things. The score doesn't really show what happened out there. Are you serious? You played in the game. I watched the game. The score doesn't show what happened. You know what happened? It was a beatdown, a statement, a absolute bone-crushing victory. The 49ers whooped their ass. They whipped their ass, ladies and gentlemen. Rob says we broke their psyche. Absolutely. The 49ers broke their psyche. And for Parsons to say the score doesn't show what happened out there? Are you serious? Are you serious? Oh, 49ers crushed them. Debbie says, what is Parsons smoking? I don't know, but it's some really strong stuff because the Niners crushed their soul like crazy. I mean, just obliterated them. And this defense was on another level. The Cowboys defense was nowhere near that level. I'll tell you what, man. The loss of Trayvon Diggs for them was huge. Like, he's a playmaker. They did not have a playmaker. They could not stop Brandon Ayuk and Purdy. That combination was locked in. When Debo needed to get some plays, he was there. Fred Warner cooked every safety they tried to put on him. 3 catches, 3 touchdowns. And again, CMC was looking amazing out there. I mean, he didn't need to have a huge game because the Cowboys were trying to intentionally, like, I'm not going to lie to you, I really feel like the Cowboys were trying to take out CMC, not just for the game. Like, they were trying to hurt on. They were trying to take CMC out of, for weeks, dude. They were trying to intentionally hurt him. That's the way it felt. It was kind of shady, but it is what it is. Jordan Mason came in, and he worked, man. Jordan Mason cooked 69 yards, 10 rushes. He's our running back, too. I said it early in the offseason. He's going to be running back, too, by the end of it. It's not even the midseason. He's definitely running back, too. And it's no disrespect to anybody on the team. Elijah Mitchell can't stay healthy, and Jordan Mason took advantage of the opportunities, and now he is just looking like a great player out there. And he looked great last year. And if he continues to run that hard and give, Christian McCaffrey some plays off, man, and he's effective, then he's the guy, man. We need a guy to help Christian stay, fresh out there because he's taking a toll on his body. He's getting hit. I thought he might have had a concussion at some point in that game, but luckily he didn't. And, it's good to see Jordan Mason come in and really help out. That touchdown was beautiful. With the point, it was nice, man. So shout out to Jordan Mason, man. He was a really solid part of this offense last night. And I like the fact that Kyle, a couple weeks ago, everybody was complaining, oh, they need to get more running backs involved. And I said they will eventually. Give him some time. Elijah was coming off an injury. Jordan was still trying to get his opportunities. And the day that Mason got his opportunities last week, he looked good. And now he got more opportunities, and he looked better. So as long as he continues to rise to the occasion for Kyle, Jordan's going to get more opportunities, and they're going to give less time, or a few less snaps here and there to CMC, He's still the focal point. He's still the MVP guy. He's still the key to this offense. But if you can give him 10 less carries a game and he can still have 100 yards rushing or whatever the case is, then that's a dub, man. Because Jordan Mason, he runs so hard, but you don't want to get Jordan Mason hurt. So it's good to have a mix of running backs. And the thing with Elijah Mitchell over these years is they wanted him to be that guy, that extra running back, but just can't stay healthy, unfortunately. And now Jordan Mason, he looks like that guy. So baby beast mode. Yeah. Let's see. Let me see some of these questions. Yeah, good stuff, man. It's a great day. What's up, Randy Daytona? What's good? Christine says, I'm not okay with people wishing injuries on players on any team. So Greg Tanner wished injury on Fred Warner to put him out of the game. That's career, man. That's not cool, man. Not cool to wish injuries on anybody. Sherman went off on Skip Bayless. That was one of the most legendary. I don't watch Undisputed a lot or all those shows a lot. I try to catch up the highlights when they post them here and there. But this morning, I made sure to watch. It was must-see TV. I mean, Sherman had the red jacket. He was ready to go to war for the 49ers, and he just came and obliterated Skip Bayless. Skip couldn't do anything. He got owned. I loved it, man. I love this 49ers winning, especially over the Cowboys. Like, it feels so good. And again, last night was such a gratifying victory because the fact of the matter is the 49ers just crushed their soul. They took sole position of, the most wins in the heated head-to-head rivalry, 20-19 overall now against the Dallas Cowboys. It was 19-19 going into this game, and the 49ers now have the edge in the win department by one game. And it was not just a win, it was a demoralizer. Like, I think mentally the Cowboys are going to really have to look in the mirror and figure out a lot of things, because this one broke their spirits. Dak looked stressed. I mean, he looked like he saw ghosts. Again, 49ers 3 interceptions. They were all over him. I mean, Oren Burks, your third linebacker, went and had an interception. No disrespect to Oren Burks, but he's getting interceptions on Dak. It's a bad day for you. It was fun to be there, and it was such a great atmosphere. Again, I feel like the 49er fans are really turning up. The vibes are electric this season, and I think the fans know it, the players know it, the coaches know it. Everybody knows that this team is just different, man. You can just sense it. It's just a special group of players, man. Jesus, man. Rob says Kittle wearing the F Dallas t-shirt under his jersey is priceless. Let's talk about that. What a moment. So happy birthday, George Kittle. Shout out to George Kittle. 3 catches, 3 touchdowns. Hell of a night. Sunday night football. He is the Cowboy killer. We call Dre Greenlaw the Seahawk killer. George Kittle is now officially, I'm going to dub him the Cowboys killer. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, I just dubbed him the Cowboy killer because he crushed their soul last night. 3 touchdowns. They could not stop him. And it was amazing to see that moment. You see the video, he pulls up the shirt and he's doing the plumber, he's wearing F Dallas shirt, a la plumber, right? Way back in the day. And it was cool to see because I knew he was going to possibly do this before the game. I had, gotten a word of this as the week was going on. My man, Alex Tran, Niner Alex from Niners Nation, he told me, because he's the one that he got it all set up for him. Kittle was texting him, and then they were hitting us up. They're like, "Hey, do you know where we can get the shirts?" And I kind of helped him with some things. I was like, "Hey, this is," and he asked me like the opinion on the font. I told him it's saloon font. That's what you want. So, in any case, flash forward to the game, and I mean, 3 touchdowns, and to do that, Selly was like, "Oh my God!" It's an iconic moment right there. And George Kittle, right there, he just loved, like, you could just, he's a true 49er. He bought into the team years ago. He's a captain. He's a leader. That is a huge rivalry. And for him to throw homage to, a former player and how intense this rivalry was back in the day and just drop that moment was like, oh, wow. Again, levels to it. And he's that just was an iconic moment. Like, there's just so many like layers to that moment. The fact that he did it against the Cowboys, the fact that he had 3 touchdowns and he was able to do that, and it just was, premeditated, and he knew that if he had a big game, he can do that. Like, he had the shirt under his jersey all night, and boom, he crushed them enough where, hey, I'm gonna do this. And guess what? You can't say anything because look at the scoreboard. Because if it would have been a close game, or if the Niners wouldn't have won, it would have taken a whole nother meeting. But the fact that the Niners crushed them 42-10, and Kittle was like the MVP of their offense last night, other than Brock, right? 4 touchdowns. But the 3 touchdowns to have a monster performance on Sunday Night Football was so epic, man. Amazing moment. Yeah, he's a legend for that shirt, says Nia. Who's the unsung hero of this game? That's a good question. Man, there's so many. So obviously Brock was the star on the offense, 4 touchdowns, career high. He got nominated for FedEx Air Player of the Week. Like he's not unsung, so he was great. There were so many stars, right? Like we said, Kittle was one of those guys that stuck out. CMC played great, but I feel like Jordan Mason really was one of those unsung heroes because they were trying to take out CMC. They were swarming him. They were putting 2, 3, 4 guys on him at one time. And when Jordan Mason came in, it allowed CMC to take some rest off. I think John Feliciano is another guy that was an unsung hero that we need to talk about because Aaron Banks was, missing in part of that game because of his shoulder injury that we know now of. And Feliciano held it down. So this O-line, honestly, the whole O-line was an unsung hero. I don't think they got enough credit for last night's performance because they were really locked in. Parsons did nothing. Like I said, 0. He really had 2 quarterback hurries. That's all he did. He did nothing. No impact from Parsons. His offensive line held it down. So shout out to them. On defense, man, again, Dre Greenlaw, Fred Warner gets all the hype as he should. He's the man, the myth, the legend. But, man, Dre Greenlaw was out there wrecking up shop. And then secondary, I really feel Diamond Lenore and Mooney Ward played their tails off, man. They were Clamp City, and I don't think enough people are giving them a credit. 5 passes thrown to a side. Diamond Lenore allowed 2 catches for 14 yards. That's it. He was Clamp City, man. So, Kyle Juszczyk. Yeah, shout out to Kyle Juszczyk, actually, says Rob. That's a good point. Finally got a touchdown. They got him involved. He was blocking like a madman, as he always does. It was nice to see Kyle Juszczyk get a little tutty, in that game. A little tutty action. It's nice. Everybody was hyped up when everybody loves to see Kyle Juszczyk get touchdowns. Stadium was hyped. They were, one guy next to me was like, yeah, finally get Juice that touchdown. I needed it. So it was cool. Yeah, definitely good to see Kyle Juszczyk do well. Terrence says, I can't wait to see Gregory on this D-line. I can't wait, man. It's going to be fun. Rob says the whole team is sung heroes. Sure. Sati says Nick Bosa had a sneaky, really good night every single time he was getting pressure on that. I wasn't sneaky. I mean, it was Nick Bosa being Nick Bosa last night. He was definitely dialing up pressure. Again, he had 7 pressures last night. And everybody knows 49ers, if you play them, you have to try to stop Nick Bosa. And I know he only had half a sack, really. But, I mean, there was more to it. He was dialing in pressure. He was always behind he was always in the backfield. Like, he was so many times he was close. And he made Dak's life a living hell last night. He really did. And I think that was one of the reasons Dak just struggled. He was just stressed. You could tell he was just shook. He was not feeling good. He was just so stressed out. I think Dak said it was the most humbling experience of his entire career. Like he just, let me pull up the chat or the stat. Let me see. What did he say? Let's see. This is what Dak said. I mean, he was getting demoralized so much last night. You could tell. Oh yeah. So Dak says, I didn't see it coming. This might have been the most humbling game I've ever been a part of. The most humbling game I've ever been a part of. This man was down bad. He was so sick last night. Remember last week when they played the video of him like yelling and upset at the reporter because they said, oh, how do you feel about losing to the Niners in the playoffs? And he was so mad. Threw 3 interceptions, and I'm sure he's just boiling at this point. And, the thing is, in the offseason, he says, I don't think I'm going to throw 10 interceptions. He threw 3 against the 49ers. So, 49ers cooked him up. They made his life a living, walking hell. Dak Prescott just got obliterated, and I loved it. Loved every single moment of it. Love it. I loved it, man. And, I mean, look at this. 49ers have scored 30-plus points in 8 straight regular season games. Last night, defense, 3 interceptions, a forced fumble, a fumble recovery, 4 sacks, 10 points allowed. Like, they're just everything they did last. And look at this time of possession 37 minutes to 22, 49ers. Total yards 421 to 197. Passing yards 251 to 140. Rushing yards 170 to 57. First downs 25 to 8. Penalties, it was an even 6. It's the only thing that they did as good as us, was had the same amount of penalties. Turnovers, the Cowboys had 4, the Niners had 1. The Niners had 4 sacks on the Cowboys. The Niners had only allowed 1 sack. 49ers beat them in every single aspect of the game. Every single aspect. That is a statement, ladies and gentlemen. The fact they came out against America's team, the team that everybody thought was going to come into and be this team that the 49ers have to really compete with. There's no competition. The 49ers are better than them in every single aspect of the game, and they proved it. They beat them in every single aspect of the game last night, and they demolished them, man. 42-10. 49ers sent a statement to the NFL world, and they basically said, we are the best team in the NFL. Quit playing games with us. Unbelievable performance. What a game. What a game. Yeah, Terrence says, if that was Dak being pissed off, I want to see what Happy looks like, right? I mean, they just shook. He was rattled. You could tell he was rattled. He was nervous. The crowd was just wild last night. Shout out to the Niner fans that were there. I don't think he could hear himself think. It was awesome. It was awesome. Fun stuff, man. You got to love it. And again, Fred Warner in his head. Fred Warner lives rent-free in that man's head. Dre Greenlaw, we talked about him. The secondary was just suffocating. They wouldn't really let up any passes. They were making it they were forcing him to throw into tight windows, and he couldn't do it. And again, offensive line was just dominant. The Cowboys couldn't get through. Kyle Shanahan was in his bag last night. I mean, calling play after play that just the Cowboys couldn't stop, man. Run game was great. Passing game was just phenomenal. We haven't seen the team being able to throw deep when they want to. 49ers, if they need to take some deeper shots, they're doing it. And Brandon Ayuk and Brock Purdy have built this crazy, crazy chemistry that is just something we haven't seen in a long. Like, I haven't seen a quarterback wide receiver chemistry like this for the 49ers in a very, very long time. Like, Jeff Garcia T.O. was pretty nice. That chemistry was rock solid. I'm gonna get some hate on this one. This might be something like Steve Young, Jerry Rice. This might be developing into Steve Young, Jerry Rice. Like, the more they continue, the more they develop together. Brock Purdy and Brandon Ayuk, they're going to be a very special duo. I'm gonna say that right now. Rick says there was a great game, my friend. Were you there last night? I was, Rick. I was in the stadium watching the game. I posted my highlights all from my seat. It was a fun game, man. A very fun experience. It was amazing. Great place to be, Levi Stadium. It's getting better as a stadium, I think, because so many more fans are there, and I think the vibes have become more electric. It was just such a fun game to be at. And I think, the Niner fans know that, hey, we have a special team. Let's make this worth our while now going to the games. I feel like there's a lot more people that are there that care about the game. When the Niners were losing, it wasn't filled. Fans went there just to be there to take pictures for the gram. They really didn't care about the team, but now they're winning, and it's a whole different atmosphere. It's just an electric vibe. It's fun times, man. So good stuff. It definitely was. Happy to be there last night, and anybody I saw last night, thanks for hopping in and taking pictures with me and saying what's up. So, Rick, I agree. The 49ers are only going to get better. You're absolutely right. I mean, this team every week, I feel like every week is just like, oh, they're better now than they were. I think the defense now took a step above. I think the defense, they leveled up this week. They took a huge step towards being another elite defense again. I mean, I think they really were, but I think Steve Wilkes was still figuring things out. But now the pieces are starting to come together for him, and that was a dominant performance. Again, Cowboys were one of the teams that people thought were top 3 team in the NFL, and the 49ers crushed their soul. There's no doubt in my mind that the 49ers are the most balanced team. Like, look at the stars they have. Some of the highest paid players on each position, and they're earning their money. Warner, Bosa, Kittle, Trent Williams, Debo, Ayuk, Kyle Juszczyk, man. So many highly paid. Greenlaw, he got an extension last year. So many good players. Mooney Ward, Javon Hargrave. His front office has done a phenomenal job, man. Phenomenal job. It's a great time to be a Niner fan, says Debbie. Absolutely. Love Brocktober. Brocktober 12th is your birthday. I love Brocktober. Brocktober's fun, man. Rick Diaz says, keep an eye on the Lions. Definitely. Been keeping an eye on the Lions. They've been playing good. Good ball, man. Lions are a good team. Keeping my eyes on them. They're definitely going to be a team that is going to be near the top of the NFC at the end of the season. So, I mean, Philly, they'll still be at the top, man. You know, until someone beats them and takes them down, and they're still the top team. You know, everything's going to run through them right now. But obviously, the 49ers are trying to make sure that they get the number 1 seed. And when Week 13 comes around, 49ers are making sure that they're ready to take down the Eagles so they can get that number 1 seed. But the Lions, yeah, they're winning a lot of games. They're going to keep feasting on their division, and that's a team that we got to keep an eye on. So you're absolutely right. Your voice is shot too. I know it was a lot of screaming last night. I'm trying to talk not as loud because I came home last night. My throat was on fire. I had to have some tea. Yeah, it was fun. It was a madhouse, but you know, you lose your voice after a game. But that means you cheered your butt off, and it means you had a great time. Blood Moon says the fact that we still have to be cautious around crowning Brock is crazy. The kid is showing something this fan base has been waiting over 30 years for. Let me say it again. 30 years. Trust in Brock. Yeah, absolutely. The people that doubt him still, I don't know why. It's crazy to me. Brock is doing things that we've been wanting for a long time. Again, he's so poised. He's so smart. He understands the system. Kittle was talking about how he's like a robot. He's got like a computer program in his brain. The fact that he said he's the same as he was Wednesday as he is Sundays, it says a lot. It means he's calm. He understands the game plan, and he goes and executes it at a very high level. You know, he doesn't let anything get him rattled. He's so poised in the pocket. He's very calm, like we said, like a young Joe Montana. You know, I hate to throw these comparisons around because it's lofty expectations, but so far he's been running this offense like a young Joe Montana, not a Joe Montana like Rex Ryan said, but Joe Montana. And it's because he understands. He's learning the defense. He knows how to read a defense. He's 23. He's only going to get better. The fact that he can, you know, understand all the installments, knows all the plays. Kyle's offense is very difficult. And then people say, oh, he's a system quarterback. Proud of Kyle. Look at the weapons around him. They don't realize how many plays that Kyle has, how intricate this offense is. The 49ers were limiting their offense. They didn't have the full playbook because the quarterbacks they had over the years, they couldn't grasp the playbook and execute everything. So Kyle kind of dumbed it down and shaved the plays in half. And now he expanded the playbook. He's opening it up. They got more plays coming. And Brock has to be able to process all this information, pre-snap, all the motion they do, know the extra plays, all the audibles, be able to figure out where his reads are, all this in a short amount of time. He's so smart and he handles it so well, and he's continuing to develop and grow. Remember, he's only played 15 games, I think, in his career, and he hasn't lost a regular season game. Like, it's just incredible to see him continue to grow and develop. He's getting better, and he's only going to get better as the game slows down for him. You know, he's getting better with Brandon Ayuk. He's getting better with, you know, throwing the deeper passes, and he's still coming off the surgery. People forget. This guy is fun to watch. He's the real deal. Brock Purdy is that guy, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know why people doubt him. Maybe because he was the last pick. They want to be right. They want to look at him and say he doesn't look flashy, but it doesn't matter. He's getting the job done, and he's executing, and he's playing at a high level, and he's smart, man, and he's such a leader. He's such a leader, man. Love it. I love Brocktober. Love Brock Purdy. Yeah, Rob, I said Kittle had a lot of great things to say about Brock on Pat McAfee. Yeah, that was a lot of what he said. He said that, and that was some of what he said. He basically said, you know, that he processes things so smart, and the fact that he just understands the offense, you know, and he comes in on Sundays on the game, and it's the same as he would come in on Wednesdays during the installments. Like, he just knows the offense, and the fact that he's been given this playbook from Kyle, and Kyle trusts him, it blows Kittle's mind. He's unreal, man. He is a robot. Brock the Robot Purdy. I love it. He's a cyborg. Yeah, I love it, man. Good stuff. Good game last night. Fun times. Fun times. Great time to be a Niner fan. It was amazing time to be a Niner fan. A Ricola. I need to get a Ricola. Actually, I have some. Let's see. Any questions, comments, concerns? That was a great game. I'm just happy. The 49ers are healthy. They're winning. They're undefeated. 5-0. Number one in their division by far. They got a game against Cleveland this week. They have a chance to go 6-0. Christian McCaffrey, 14 straight games with a touchdown. Good game this Sunday playing the Browns. Yeah, should be a good one. Julius says thoughts on Trent Williams versus Myles Garrett this coming week. It's the battle right there. That is the big matchup. When we start talking about this game, that is basically the game. That is going to be the game within the game. I know the Browns are banged up. They got a lot of injuries, but they still have Myles Garrett, and he's still one of the best players in the NFL defensively. He is a dog, and Trent and him are going to have a fun time matching up. I mean, we don't know, the game plan the Niners are going to have to do, but they're really going to have to try to help neutralize Myles Garrett, just like they did with Micah Parsons, like they do with Aaron Donald. The one guy that the 49ers have had a hard time was TJ Watt, but they still won that game. So I feel like Myles Garrett can still have a big game, but 49ers can win. But at the end of the day, I feel like the 49ers could really neutralize him. But that we got a whole week to worry about that. Myles Garrett has a foot injury, says Shades. Ooh, wow. Does he really? I'll have to look that up. I didn't see that yet. If that's true, big if true. If he has a foot injury, that is a massive, massive concern for the Browns. That'll definitely be something that limits him. So, Blood Moon says, should we rest CMC after his touchdown this weekend? It depends on how the game's going. The shot that he took scared the shit out of me. He says, yeah, Cowboys were targeting him. They really were. I think they were targeting him. It wasn't fair, but I do feel like Jordan Mason's doing himself a favor by playing so well. The better Jordan Mason plays, the better it is for him to, help take some pressure off of Christian McCaffrey. So, yeah, definitely. I think that they could rest CMC a little bit more as long as Jordan Mason continues to run well. You don't want to run CMC to the ground. And I feel like the Cowboys were just targeting him. But, you never know what other teams are going to want to try to do. They're going to try to want to take out a guy like CMC. So they got to play it safe. I mean, they were really roughing him up, man. I thought he was going to be nicked up after this game. But, shout out to Jordan Mason, man. He did well, and he really helped out. So I think, yeah, definitely give Jordan Mason more opportunities. He proved himself. What's up, 49er Jeff? He says that hit on CMC was dirty. It really was, man. Pissed me off, man. Seeing that game and seeing them they were really headhunting that guy. They were targeting CMC, man. I didn't like that. That was shady. That was shady, man. Rob says, I was hoping that they would ease up on CMC. But he wants it. That's the thing. Like CMC wants to play. It's nothing else other than CMC's so competitive. And Kyle also knows it's so hard not to have him in the game because he's so good. But again, Jordan Mason yesterday made it easy for the 49ers to take out Christian McCaffrey. So that is right there what needs to happen. If you have another running back, you have to prove that, hey, I can do this. I can make sure that we don't need CMC. And that's the problem that was happening before. Elijah Mitchell can't see the field, so it's hard to say, give the ball to Elijah Mitchell or somebody else when those guys weren't proving them. And last week, and if a guy like Jordan Mason and TDP or somebody are only getting 2 yards a carry, it's not good enough to spell CMC. So that's the only, I guess, drawback of having Christian McCaffrey. He's so good. He gets so many like positive yards on every play, almost just about. It's hard to not give him the ball. You know what I mean? It's hard to not give him the ball. So these other guys that are in there, they have to show like, hey, you can let CMC take a rest because I can get us some positive yards. I can make some big plays. And yesterday Jordan Mason did that, and that was huge. None says Micah Parsons is absolutely delusional. He was very delusional. I still can't believe what he said, but haters gonna hate. People are gonna be delusional. The 49ers are 5-0, and that gets under a lot of people's skin. 49ers being a victorious team, a great team, a winning team, pisses a lot of people off. And I love it. I love it because we get memes, we get crap, we get great stuff to talk about, and we just make everybody look silly because we have all the film, we have all the stats film. They don't lie. I'm watching. ESPN's on right now. They just showed the Brock Purdy, razzle dazzle, flea flicker play to George Kittle. Like that's the kind of stuff the 49ers are just too good. They're too good, man. I love this team. Victory Monday, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys are having a great Victory Monday. I believe that's it for now. I'll hop on a little later and, appreciate the support. Enjoy the rest of your Monday, man. 49ers are 5-0, undefeated. It feels amazing. Enjoy the rest of your day. I hope everybody's hyped up that this team is just amazing, man. A phenomenal team, well-balanced on every aspect of the game. Nobody's better. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. I love you guys. Have a great Monday. Thank you for all the support. Make sure you hit that like button. We'll be back a little later live on Instagram, most likely. Have a great night. Enjoy your Monday Night Football viewing. Bang, bang. Night.